Like a lot of my friends during this Super Bowl season that were like, yeah, I'm with Cap. I support this whole movement of us, not paying attention to the Super Bowl. They were all like watching. They were on IG betting and saying who they think is going to win and all this stuff. And I was just like, what happened? I feel like people are bandwagoning or were bandwagoning onto the whole Kaepernick thing. And I feel like the bandwagon train is stopped for a lot of people. Some people are still on. I know myself and personally, I'm still on. But a lot of people, like a lot of my friends during this Super Bowl season that were like, yeah, I'm with Cap. I support this whole movement of us, not paying attention to the Super Bowl. They were all like watching. They were on IG betting and saying who they think is going to win and all this stuff. And I was just like, what happened? Did y'all forget? Like, it's still a thing. Kaepernick still has no job. People are still being shot up in the streets. It's still pretty bad out here. So I don't know. That was my take on it. But yeah, I agree. Part of this whole trend, it's a trend. Protesting is a trend. And I feel like it's waning.
What you think, Andrew?
My whole thing is like I don't necessarily think protesting is dead, but I feel as though if you're protesting anything, you have to have a goal, right, or a certain timeline, or something to that effect. I'm confused as to what Kaepernick's timeline or the goal is. When does the protesting end? Are we protesting indefinitely? Like, I think there were no set rules. That's why there's no set reaction to said protest. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of just has their own thing of what they think.
Well, I think what he was saying is he was saying he's gonna protest until police stop killing Black people.
But is that really gonna stop?
I think that's what he said. I mean,
that's like. I mean, come on.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying that's what he originally said when people were like they're gonna boycott. There were a lot of. I did hear some clear messages about when that would end. Some people were saying like the same thing as him when cops stopped killing unarmed Black people. But also some people were saying when Kaepernick gets a job back. Right. Okay. That's something that's clear.
That's definite. That's a clear sign.
I don't know about the when they're gonna stop killing.
That makes more sense to me when he gets back a job. Yeah, that makes more sense to me when he gets back a job. As far as when police stop killing Black people, I mean.
Come on, Sheena, what you got?
I feel like this doesn't really make any sense. So in terms of, I don't watch football or any of that for my own personal reasons. But in terms of when I first heard about him, because I don't watch it, so I just heard from social media, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then when people were like, oh, we're going to boycott, I was like, oh, that's great. People are going to boycott for a reason. And then when I feel like people boycotting only works if it's connected to money, right? So if no one's going to stop purchasing or giving their money over, then nothing is going to change. So in terms of like the killing of brown people, I think if everyone pulled away their money, and then it was like, you know what, we need to start charging people. We're going to figure out which cops to charge. We have to make a statement because we're losing out on money. So I feel like it's not the lives that matter, it's the money. And so if people actually bought into boycotting and they actually stopped buying anything to do with football, anyone who sponsored any games, then the sponsors would push back on law enforcement because they don't really care about the cops, right? It's just like, whoa, we're losing out on millions. Yeah, we need to start charging these people. So in terms of him getting a job, granted, this is me just talking off the top of my head, I felt like, didn't he already have a job? So boycotting until he gets a job isn't really going to change because I don't think he was boycotting because of work. He was boycotting for a cause. So I feel like, yeah, let's boycott until he gets a job. He doesn't really care about that. He had a purpose that he wanted to, he had a cause that he wanted to bring attention to. So unless people, and this is any kind of boycott, unless you are willing to give up something, and it might be a lot, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to work. So if you're not willing to stop purchasing and large numbers of people aren't ready to stop purchasing, then the people at the top are like, oh, they don't care, so we can just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I mean, with the boycotting, though, it is a monetary thing in that if you're not watching it, then they, that will get the sponsors to step in and say something, do something. Like, I mean, you could argue that Nike is one of those sponsors that said, all right, let me capitalize off of it, really. But but you can argue that drop in viewership is gonna get somebody to some sponsors to step in and say something.
Yeah, no, I think Sheena's right when it comes down to protests not really working unless there's some sort of like monetary fault involved. And when you think about, like back in the day in like Montgomery, Alabama, with the bus boycott, everyone stopped taking the bus, and they had no choice because they weren't making money from everyone needing the bus. They were just like, well, we'd rather walk. But that was like everyone collectively coming together. I think you're right about that. I feel like a lot of people don't even really I feel like a lot of people don't feel like their participation really matters. So they're just like, well, it doesn't matter if I do it. I'm just one person. But that's how, like, the collective mindset is right now. And I feel like if we were able to flip that, then we could see some type of change. But
I think in addition to the collective mindset, I think a lot of people don't care. So it's not, from what I heard, it wasn't people saying, oh, I don't think it'll matter if I do it. They're like, well, I don't care. I'm still gonna. I don't care.
Yeah, they were just being real selfish because it's not happening to them.
Right. Like, I feel like if you live far away, like if you were involved in a boycott and like nobody was giving you a ride, and like, oh, I'm sorry, my car is full, you're like, man, but I don't want to be the only one on the bus. But I feel like today people are like, I'll be the only one on the bus because nobody's coming to pick me up. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's I don't care. It's all about self. It's not about other people. If it doesn't directly affect me, then I don't care.
I kind of think though, Kaepernick, he succeeded at what he tried to do already. I don't think the boycott of the NFL is sufficient though. I feel as though like what he wanted to do, he wanted to raise awareness, and he has raised awareness. But I don't think us boycotting football is going to stop police brutality. I just don't see the direct correlation.
I think the goal, like you said, to bring awareness. I think if he's bringing awareness, then he's getting people talking about it. Like, correct. That's all it really is. And if people, I guess it's a cry out to the world so that you're not invisible. You know what I mean? Because this is not nothing new that police are killing unarmed Black people. It's just that nobody really cared, and people didn't talk about it. I mean, Black people talked about it, but that's it. So now he has others engaged in the conversation.
Correct. And I think he was definitely successful in that everyone's talking about it now.
Right.
And even like when we look at Nike and we say, oh, Nike stands with him, it's kind of iffy because they're straddling both sides of the fence. They still support the NFL. All of the NFL, if you go and buy an NFL jersey, it's made by Nike. They still do the commercials, and they still side with him. So that's another aspect of it.
Some about what Sheena was saying. You got to remember too. It's not just what people on the boycotting side are doing, because viewership definitely dropped a lot over the course of the whole boycott. So that's one thing. But then you have people like your president and others who are like, oh, the viewership dropped because people are mad that the players are boycotting. You know what I mean? So there's always that kind of, that the players are kneeling. Sorry. the players kneeling, they're like, well, people aren't watching because they don't want to see that, and they don't want to see that disrespect. That's the classic kind of, all right, this is actually working. Let me try and throw a monkey wrench in it. Let me try and not let anyone know that this is actually producing results, you know? So we have to keep that in mind. There's always that element of what bad intentions will try and throw in to try and murk up like whatever progress you make.